year. Nope, still can't do it. Oh man. I thought I had enough time to practice. I did not. What
Absolutely
up,
not.
y'all? What's up? Welcome to Walking 90. If you don't remember us, it's okay because we've been a while, but we back. We here. Uh, Welcome to Walking 90, the podcast for USL League One. As you know, Ebony. Uh, Everybody introduce yourselves. Who I got beside me?
Chip.
There you
Again,
go.
it's been a while. Might have forgotten me. Been having a kid, so it's been busy.
And the main man down below.
Hi, I'm back. It's Kyle. I mean, a lot has happened since we last recorded. There are teams that have not won league matches. There are teams that have not lost league matches. We've had branding updates. We've had new expansion teams. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I even have a new place, and we'll see if this internet is better than at the previous house.
Is it still Spectrum?
I mean, it's still Spectrum, but I bought a new
Then
router,
no.
so we're hoping the
Then-
router will at least give it a chance.
Never Spectrum. Just remember that.
Yeah.
Always hashtag never Spectrum.
I don't have a choice. AT&T doesn't come to this location, and I'm pissed because they have fiber, and I wanted that.
Well, I'm just going to
Google?
laugh at you.
Google Fiber?
AT&T fiber. Look, I try, okay? I take what I'm given.
I'm going to laugh at you and my $60 locked in price for life, 2 gigabyte fiber internet that never goes down.
The fuck? This is bullshit. You know what?
Well, I'm not paying too much, though, so that's the nice thing, and I can reimburse my internet bill for work, so...
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, then fuck it. Run the bill up.
Right.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's great. So we have a lot to talk about, like Kyle alluded to in his intro. First, let's talk some league news. Because like you said, there's some new teams that are joining, some new teams that are ready to kick off. We got some new logos. So let's go straight down the list. Let's start with FC Naples. They unveiled a new logo. How did we feel about it?
I don't mind it. I think it's inoffensive. It's fine. Like, it's not going to make me go, what drugs were they on when it was made? It's fine.
It's very professional looking, and I think that's the nice thing. Like the shield shape is like the shell, and then the color. The colors, they're not what they say they are. They're not, that's navy, gold, and tan are their colors, or navy, gold, and cream, which I think is a great color palette. They're going to have some cool stuff. It's going to look really good. We don't have a team that looks similar to that. It's going to be great. Overall, compared to some other teams down the list, I think they might have some of the best branding out of all the teams that have been announced recently.
I mean, they call themselves the first professional sports team in Southwest Florida. So I guess that fits for whatever they trying to got going on.
They got real specific. They
You
get
know
more
what?
specific.
They didn't lie. They were like, you're not going to call us liars.
You know what? I'm gonna respect that. I too like the shape. It's the colors are a little meh. It feels like very boring in sense of the colors. Hopefully there's going to be some secondary and other logos out there, some fancy wordplay looking logos that we can hopefully use instead of this one. Maybe bring that gold a little bit more to the front just to, spice it up a little bit. But other than that, it's all right. I mean,
I have
worked.
one big question, though.
What's up?
Now that FC Naples has someone that is part of the ownership group that is on the CBS Golazo network, do you think Golazo will actually talk about USL League One now?
No.
Because I'm just saying, they have ownership now. They have someone that's part of the ownership that is a featured person on CBS Golazo network. Maybe they can actually use that to talk about USL League One. I'm just saying, for a channel that's supposed to talk about US soccer, I'm just saying.
I'm about to ruin my bit by saying I looked it up already and it's lower than I thought, but I will say I do applaud them for not going like full Florida and having like an alligator with a M16 riding a jet ski doing a line of coke or something. But like I guess Naples is like bougie Florida, which is why I'm about to ruin the bit, because guess what the average household income in Naples, Florida is?
I don't want to know.
It's gotta be six figures.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But like lower than you'd think. It's $135,000. I thought because I thought Naples was like rich. Like
it can't be richer than like Miami.
fair, yeah.
And I know that's high.
It's still rich. Like that's still a lot of money.
Yeah, that's fair. That is still a lot of money.
Right,
but
not nearly as much. Well, that's the weird thing too, is Naples is only like 20,000 people. I'm just reading this off of Wikipedia. The metro is 322,000. So who knows? Maybe it's like all the rich people live in like Naples Grove or something. And so Naples is like where the Publix Walmart crowd lives, and the rich people live in Naples Grove or something else. Someone from Florida can tell us, because I don't know that much about Florida, but small market, but cool away day, I'm sure.
It would be nice. It would be nice.
The next branding was Antelope Valley, and they are the AV Alta FC. Yeah, it threw me off too. That logo is something. It does not spark a lot of joy.
It's a logo.
It is a logo. But it's
they say
green.
Antelope Valley and AV in there. The name's in there twice.
Yeah, hey.
It's graphic designing.
I just want to know where the Alta is coming from. And I'm sure they explain. I'm sure they explained it. I just didn't read it.
The new mid-sized truck coming from Ford this year. I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me. I assume that. So while we are shitting on this, I will say that they had a giant street festival for the name reveal, and they had like several thousand people come out, which hopefully that translates into butts and seats and everything else. But it seems like people are really digging it. They've had a giant drum line there, which again, like, did they pay for them to come out for the promo? Were those actual fans? Who knows? But for the promo, looked really cool. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be, based off of what I've heard, going to be pretty successful. I've heard they've had strong ticket deposits and everything else. And I guess the colors are a nod to the military bases in the area.
Oh, okay. I mean, it seems like they've got the right start. They have their own stadium, 5,300 seats. That's being converted from the baseball field to soccer.
They have a head coach already named.
Yeah, like it seems like I just wish that there was a little bit more in it than what it looks like, but I guess it's not for me. So as long as the people that are hitting season ticket purchase are liking it, then that's cool.
I like the color. I like the colors.
I do like the color. It's not like as bright as like Austin FC. It's still very earthy green, which I love. That's one of my favorite colors in the world. Mm-hmm. So I'm digging the color. I'm digging the shape of the crest too. I don't know. It's just I wanted something a little bit more pizzazz, and I didn't get that. And I was like, oh, it's still cool, but oh.
Instead of the AV, throw like an antelope in there. There you go. 2 antelopes butting heads. 2 antelopes. 3 antelopes moving in a pack. I don't know, something like that. You don't need AV in the middle there, because especially
it was just in case you forgot.
There. Yeah, so it's AV Alta AV FC is what it says, and it's like that's a
redundancy, Department of Redundancy.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I feel like they're definitely one, especially if they're successful, that is going to get a rebrand in like under 5 years.
I mean,
keep the colors, but definitely like something on the crest to like give it a little pizzazz, which The big question is, do they do it before the Sad Wolves do?
Yes.
Really? If they haven't
Probably.
rebranded by now, then they're going to ride that till the wheels fall off.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't see Chattanooga doing any effort to rebrand.
Yeah, unless they just absolutely like.
Unless they absolutely have to, and I don't think they will.
Yeah,
I think they'd rather fold than do that, honestly.
Yeah, which I don't know. I guess good for them for liking that. Like good for those guys.
And to move on to the final unveiled branding, Portland, Maine, the Hearts of Pine. That one is
A mouthful.
Baller. It yes, but that logo is amazing.
This the
Yes.
Hearts.
You haven't I see Hearts of Pine, yes.
Well, no, this is the Hearts. This it's just Hearts, like the share.
Just Hearts. Okay.
They're like
just
share.
Hearts.
Either Hearts. I'm either going to say Portland or Hearts. I'm not doing Hearts of Pine. That Portland Hearts of Pine. That's too much.
The Pines,
Oh,
Pines.
the Pines.
Yeah.
I think their Twitter is literally like PDX Hearts or something. So it's like clearly that was like the idea when they did that, which I think is great. Like that's great. They have a nickname and they have like their formal name and like everything else. And I think overall just great job. Good job. Like that.
Yeah, the crest has grown on me. I was very much like, this is too much at first. It is now growing on me the more I look at it.
You didn't like it from the beginning?
I felt, and I think not. I didn't mind. I just felt it was too much. I just felt that there's a lot between like the name, and then you have the whole tree, and then you have the heart, and then it's just like it just seemed large. It seemed like there's a lot.
Yeah, I think it's intentionally busy though, right? Like
yeah,
like the intentionally ugly aesthetic, where like if you do it right and the colors match, it's not ugly, even though like looks ugly. And it's like, no, that's cool.
It just felt like, okay, you're just throwing a lot of like you threw like 4 different ideas in one crest.
Yeah, well, I think they're almost trying to do. Yeah, I think they're almost trying to do like they're trying to make it look like the team's been around for 125 years almost, and they've been using it forever, which I think it's really hard to like do that right.
Yeah.
Because I think so much of it is it's just been around forever. So of course people like it because it's like, I don't know, it's been that since I was born. Like why do they need to change it? Like they've changed the kerneling on the Nebraska Cornhuskers football helmet, and you would thought like World War III had started. It's a different red. It used to be hex 3579 and now it's hex 7964. It's like
well, look, Nebraska football fans might, I don't know how to properly describe them besides unhinged cowboy fans with more depression.
Yeah, they all have their head.
How do you get more depressed? How do you get more depressed than Cowboys? Never mind, we're going off track.
Because no, it's simple. Because both teams were really good in the 90s and they haven't done shit since, and yet all they need is one different coaching change or one particular player, and then they decide, yeah, we're finally going to do it, and then they get the doors blown off of them.
You've been very, very good in living memory for the vast majority of your fans.
Oh.
And now you suck. So everyone's like, well, we used to be good. Why can't we be good now? And it's like, wow.
Well.
Anyways.
So to go through the 3, for one, my favorite is going to be Portland. And I want to support as many of these as I can. Give me something other than a dad hat, and I will have your merch, and I can support. That's the only PSA I had for this portion of branding. Give me something other than a dad hat. Thank you.
Do we want to rank them since there's only 3? And I guess you technically have Westchester. Is that their final logo?
That is a good question.
I hope not.
I hope not either. Because I was gonna. Well, so let's pretend it is. For the people who maybe don't know, it's not a circle. It's an oval, but it's a very circular oval, and it literally just has like Westchester Football Club WC in the middle. Like it's
the Washington. It's the Washington football team logo with blue and yellow.
Yeah, it's technically they completed the assignment. They're going to have a really hard time in the grading group.
Did you say they completed the assignment?
They did.
They They turned something in. Something was physically
That is
turned
the
in.
Golden State Warriors logo.
It's bad.
That
It's
is-
again the W is literally. I'm pretty sure the W is just a straight rip off of the Washington Commanders W.
I'm mad that you're right that it's almost a circle, but like
It's not.
it's not.
And it's like, did you just like do the mirroring tool wrong in your graphic design program? Did you
I'm mad.
do that on purpose? Like what was the oval to ovally? So you kind of made it like, I don't know. Like, but it's like enough that it's like, that would bother me. But so if we're ranking them 1 to 4, I've got.
Wait, are we not including Texoma?
Has that been out since we did ours? It's just like
I don't think we talked about it, to be honest. I think it's been out. We just haven't talked about it.
Yeah. So they had this whole, they're like essentially in Durant, Oklahoma, but I know that's not the big one. It's like, I don't know, some town in Texas.
Sherman, Texas.
Sherman. And it's right on the border. Hence the thing. So their logo is a road runner and a Oklahoma scissor tail, which is like the two state birds. And then they're like functionally like sitting on a telephone wire together. Is functionally.
No,
what
we
I did it.
definitely. I think we
Their
talked about
logos.
it very briefly.
We
If
can
we're
rank it,
adding
though.
that one, sure. I
Me
know
as
I know
well.
my ranking. I know I got mine. It's definitely gonna be Texoma, and then Portland, Antelope, Naples, Westchester.
Wait, so you say Texoma's your top one?
Texoma is my top one. It was my top
Okay.
one when it released. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Okay.
It's two birds. You can't go wrong with two birds. One bird is great. Two birds is even better.
Right.
All right. Chip,
It's
what
the
is your
bird
ranking?
league.
I'm gonna go Portland, then Texoma, Naples, AV, and then the people who just turned it in.
I'm going to go Naples, Texoma, Portland, AV. You got a D- Westchester because you did it. It was turned in. It was not a fail, but it's a D-.
Yeah,
You
we
put
have-
your name on it, and that counts, I guess.
we have no logos left behind. You turned it in. The lowest you can get is a 60%. Like social promotion. buddy, let's go.
Fine.
You're through.
That's crazy.
I'm not happy with you, but it's a logo. Fucking like PES generic looking ass team.
Send George Bush to hell, for the love of God.
But it does. I mean, it doesn't even look like. So AV Alta is definitely the logo that looks like it's from like PES. Like where it's like, we don't have the rights to this team. So here's like a placeholder since you're going to upload a new logo anyways. Like Westminster's looks like, which I think it is like their USL2 team logo or whatever, where it was, made, probably.
No. Let's not make US. There's plenty of USL 2 teams that have significantly better logos.
Beautiful logo.
I don't know, but it's like, I don't know. We hired somebody's kid to make this.
No, you know what this is? This is whenever you would play like Madden or NCAA football or like NBA and you did like the create a team and you had to put the logo together. This is what you would throw together on your PlayStation 2.
Yeah, fair.
That's what this is.
That's crazy. That is a wild sentence. I'm not gonna get over no logos left behind. I'm not.
Yeah.
But a team that we were worried about but has come out with some news, Santa Barbara. They have a field. That means League One's filling out a little bit. We're finally here. We're like, what
And
are we
there's some
like? How are we feeling about 2025?
There's some stuff happening and they may not be done.
I was gonna say right now, if everything goes as planned, there will be 8 teams joining in 2025.
That's a lot. That is.
And that would bring the league total. That would bring it up to 20 teams if everyone stays in the league next year.
Right, which I think is the big if. There's been, Omaha has flat out said like they're leaving when the stadium's done, which obviously isn't next year. There's been a lot of smoke around the Red Wolves possibly going up. There's been even more smoke about Lexington. Like, I personally wouldn't be shocked if they had all the USL bigwigs out at the stadium opening for Lexington and said, hey, we're moving up to League One next year, which would be our championship next year, which would be hilarious if they were still like absolute bottom of the table.
I mean,
I just
now
love
two of
going
the
to these events.
I'll just say 2 of the teams that are planning to go up the championship are hovering closer to Wooden Spoon territory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like, that's interesting.
So 8 teams, that's pretty awesome. I would still love Midwest, please. Midwest.
Do we count Texacoma or
No.
Texarkoma?
No, I'm not counting that. That might be that's not Midwest.
That's West enough.
No, if you don't have casserole as part of your like home cooking canon, you're not the Midwest.
If
I'm
the
sorry,
fact that
that's the best you're gonna get, okay?
if your number one option, if your number one go-to is let me shoot this thing, that is not Midwest.
Actually,
No.
Northern Wisconsin.
I'm just saying.
But we're talking Texas. We're talking Texas. That's just you come out the womb with a gun.
Right. A lot of urban cowboys, not a lot of,
Look, I'm just saying. You may
we have another team in the central time zone. That's great.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I still think that Des Moines is going to end up in USL 1 just because their stadium's taken so long to get off the ground and everything else. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's so many good markets that it's crazy that with this explosion of teams that we're having, that there isn't like anybody else. Like even like the good rumors are other teams. Like the good rumors right now, Corpus Christi, Wilmington's right. North Carolina.
Wilmington was rumored. I don't think that's happening, but
I don't think that's happening.
Jersey has rights. Then you have not Portland. Sorry, you have Eugene, Oregon, who bought.
Wasn't there another New York team?
Isn't that Brooklyn?
Brooklyn's going to championship though.
Bronx. I thought the Bronx was.
Bronx. Yeah, the Bronx. Yeah, that was a weird one too, where they phrased it where it was like they're investigating going to USL 1 and something, which after that announcement there hasn't been anything since, but who knows? Like, I think if with Westchester having a team in the Bronx wouldn't be, was it the Bronx or was it Harlem? I think it was Harlem.
Regardless. It was either Bronx or Harlem, but
regardless, with Westchester there, that's a nice little easy commute for those teams. I mean, by getting a stadium in New York City is going to be really hard. But no, I mean, if Brooklyn was in there too, that'd be great too, because then you have a Subway Series. But regardless, there's a lot of the good rumors are not for Midwest teams, which is unfortunate because I would obviously like another away day that isn't Madison.
I would just like to have an away day that doesn't take a whole day to drive out to.
That's a better way of saying it. Yeah, like something closer. Wichita, you're on the clock. Yeah. Would you think Wichita?
Wichita, wow.
It's beggars can't be choosers. Any port in a storm.
Minnesota, come on up.
Yeah. Hell, I'd take like Champaign, Illinois, Quad Cities, Iowa. Like, I'd take any Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls is actually cool. I shouldn't show.
Actually, I was about to say Sioux Falls would actually be a really fun one.
Yeah, Sioux Falls.
Duluth, please. You know what, Duluth, I would love that.
Fargo would be cool, but I think we're wishing because there's not a lot of smoke.
I'm just greedy. I'm being selfish and greedy. I'm not sorry.
And watch next week, they're going to announce 4 Midwestern teams are joining in 2025, and it's like, Jesus, could have waited to do the podcast till next week, but
right.
This is what it is. That's how it goes in this business, right? The fact that we're talking about it today means that they're going to announce it tomorrow, and then we look like dipshits, and it's completely worthless for anybody listening online the next day.
But they'll listen anyway, just because they like us and like to see us be wrong.
you come for the bits more than like the hard hitting analysis, anyways, right? Where else are you gonna get that?
You say this like I've watched games. League match recaps. Let's do it. So there's been a lot of things happening in the league and in the Jägermeister Cup. I'm gonna keep calling it that way. I have not let go of that.
That's
let's
fine.
start with league match. Fort Madison. What is going on? Unbeaten since the last time we recorded.
Haven't lost in the league.
Oh, actually, in the league. Unbeaten in the league. How's that going?
Pretty great. It's weird. It's weird, and it's not. And I feel like it's been a variety of ways. Like, it's not just the grind out 1-0s. It's not the score. Like, they've grinded out wins. They've come from behind. They've scored 3 goals, 4 goals. It's an odd feeling, and I think one of the biggest things is, even though they haven't gotten, a bountiful amount of goals from Cheney or Galindrez or any of their strikers, they're getting goals from their midfield, which I think has been helpful. So anyone on the field is capable of scoring. So that's been nice. The defense has been damn rock solid. I know in the league, I think they've had the most clean sheets. I think in the Jägermeister Cup, they've only allowed 2 goals in the 4 matches. So rock solid defense and getting goals from everyone. It's been nice. It's kind of, I'm enjoying it. I'm just also trying to remind myself, the last 2 years started off relatively fine in the spring, and then the wheels started coming off in the summer, and I'm just cautiously, I feel good about the season, but I also know it's a long season.
I mean, your only loss was to Lexington in that Jägermeister Cup 1-0 defeat. I see some comebacks here against Greenville. I see a very dominant 3-0 win versus Spokane. You beat up on a lowly Lexington, so that's not gonna count that as a confidence booster or anything. Well, I guess you can if your players are really off the mark or something like that.
I mean, they've faced all. They've pretty much gotten a variety of teams. I mean, they haven't played Omaha, and I mean, they'll play them tomorrow. We'll see how that goes, but it's not as though they're just beating up on teams at the bottom of the table. They've beaten Greenville, who were near the top. They've played Knoxville and beaten them, Charlotte, and the Jägermeister. Again, it's weird because there's no one particular thing that stands out. It's like they're just a very balanced team this year.
Yes, which is very nice. I'm happy for you. Don't let it get to your head. It can all come crumbling down. Just throwing it out there. I've felt the highs and lows.
Again, I am optimistic about the season, but I am not already getting ready to print, Player Shield champion shirts yet. I've not done that, but I am optimistic of how things are going.
Next team, I'm gonna skip Fuego because that's my team. That I'm rocking with Fuego because Fuego rocking with me. Send me a shirt, okay? I want to get to Lexington because I just love being right. They looking kind of rough out here in these League One streets. I just went back to look at their record. What you doing? I thought, what happened? Remember?
Well, Paper Tiger. We got one every year. They were the off-season Paper Tiger champions.
Not mine.
Not
mine.
Yours.
No.
A lot of
I
other
said that
people.
at the beginning.
And I've heard. I feel like it's one of those rumors that every time you hear the number, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But I've heard some pretty outlandish stories about how high their salary bill is this year, like over $1 million. Which I don't know.
I mean, you've got to look at who they have, like that.
It comes. The source is very good, but it's and I know the source is good, but at the same time, it's because it's someone in the league too. So it was but
I mean, if you look at some of the players they have, though, some of those players are going to command a very high salary. So it's not surprising that Jaden Odin probably got a pretty high salary. Cameron Lancaster definitely got a high salary. Even someone like Cerritos or Liotti, like the players that they brought in, I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty high.
Yeah.
And that's not including the guys they already had
Yeah.
You
that
had to
probably
play
got a
Christian.
big pay raise.
You had to pay Lou Young because otherwise he was going to championship. You had to pay him. You had to
Balogun?
pay Christian Lou Young.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying you had to pay Balogun.
Yep. And you had to pay Diff to keep him because otherwise someone was coming to take him. You had to. So that's easily a mill, like a smooth millie right there. Then you got to pay your surrounding guys. So like you probably have the highest salary in the league.
Which
And
I
you're
think for them pretty close to dead last.
Yeah. Yeah, they are second to last.
They're second to last, a point ahead of Fuego.
Yes.
Which is crazy because it's only a point ahead of Fuego, who is absolute
defense optional.
Right. Look. Shoot or shoot, man.
Well, and here's the crazy thing. It's not even something crazy like Central Fuego's played like 16 games already. They have one game in hand versus Fuego, and they're a point ahead of that.
Here's the thing. I think the biggest thing for Lexington that has shocked me, it's not, I mean, yes, their position on the table, but it's the fact that they are tied for joint bottom in terms of goals scored with 6. The only other team that has scored 6 goals is NOCO, who at least we've seen they can score goals just in a whole different competition.
Right. Like in the Jaeger Cup, they are on fire scoring goals. And I think it's just a weird like scheduling thing for them. And I think they finally kind of like gotten their feet underneath them a bit and they're going to be okay. But if I was Lexington, like not a lot to like really, I don't know, hang your hat on. And, I think that's the thing though. If you gel late in the season, you're never out of this. Like it's going to be really hard to get eliminated from the playoffs too early because 8 freaking teams go. And like Fuego isn't. So there's only like 3 teams that are trying to make the playoffs that aren't going.
But
it's a big hole. And we're almost halfway. That's the crazy thing too, is we're almost halfway through the season. Because they've
Greenville
third of the way through the season.
Are at their halfway point of games.
We are they are a third of the way through their season and some change. And there's a lot to go. Like they're not winning the Shield, I don't think, but
no.
You can still make the playoffs.
Listen to these stats. So they have not won away. They've scored 6 goals in league play. And their top scorer is Yannick with 2. So even the people that you paid significantly to stay or come, where are they on this list?
But even then, if you get hot at the right time, because right now Richmond is sitting in 8th place. Richmond is averaging 1 point per game. Lexington's not that far off that, especially if they can start winning some games. Like that's the problem with 8 teams in the playoffs. Like the level to get in is so low that it's like you're never like most teams might be still in play at the end of the tournament. So it's like if you make it and you're on fire, you can win, and then who cares? Then it's just kind of funny. Like, oh, we're the 8th seed, we barely got in, then we ended up winning. Cool story. But they need to figure it out quick because there's not a lot of games left.
Well, and the schedule will also be one where it's like, all right, you play Spokane. That might give you win that. Okay. You are now 2 points off from them. That's not too bad. You get Omaha. That might get ugly. Might be a little bloody. You get Tormenta, another team that I don't know what to make of them.
Yeah.
But they're beatable.
Yeah.
You get Richmond, they're beatable. Charlotte, like if you can pick up a win or two in those games, like then there's something there, because the schedule only gets harder for them.
Right, and especially like again, like if 1 point per game is the hurdle to get to make the playoffs this year, like man, that's not a very high bar. That's not impossible, especially with how many games are left. But again, this is all ifs. Like they have to heat up, they have to start scoring goals, they have to get some production out of their guys. And I don't know, we'll see. Like that's if you make the playoffs a win, who cares how you did in the regular season, I guess. But I don't know. Get hot at the right time and see what happens. But yeah, I not a lot to be happy about in Lexington right now, besides the stadium opening up.
And you're not completely out of it in the Jägermeister Cup, so there's that for them at least.
Well,
we'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
Yes. Now we can go back to Fuego because we mentioned them quite a bit. They got their first points since the season opener. It was a solid 1 win. But they did it, and that's all that matters. Okay. I'm rocking with Fuego because they're rocking with me.
I do think it is hilarious though, because Jermaine came in, pretty much said, "You're all bums. I'm getting rid of every single last person that we retained." Probably had to pay him still because they're under contract. Brought in all new guys, and it's like, you can't tell me the guys that you can't tell me the guys that you cut were like this bad.
But the thing is, they had that first week, came in, dominated Tormenta. We're all thinking, oh, okay, and then it just did not work after that.
1,000-person sellout, feeling the wave.
The thing, you thought vibes were good, and then you lose to Omaha. That's fine. It's whatever.
It's Omaha. That's fair.
People. Like, it's
right.
Fine.
Then you lose 3-0 to Madison. It's like, oh, okay, this is all right. Lose to Richmond, who finally won a league game in the first time in God knows how long. So you're going in like
almost a year.
Yeah, they're pushing a year, and you're like, oh. And then the problem with Fuego, they cannot defend. That's all it is. They cannot defend.
Well, it's okay if you're not going to defend, but they need to score like a shit ton of goals, which they can't do that either.
And the worst part is most of these games are at home. They've only played 2 games on the road and 6 at home.
Yeah. A lot of games on the road to end the year.
They are trying, and that's all you can really ask for, okay?
Hey.
I guess.
I'm rocking with Fuego because they rock it with me. That's all I got. That's all I got. They're going to work it out. In Jermaine Jones, I trust, okay? Okay.
All right.
Go Jermaine.
That's all I got for you. Omaha and Greenville. They on a little run. Oh, if you missed it, Greenville just beat Charlotte tonight 2-0. As we were recording. On June 19th. So they are now in first.
They are top.
But they've also played the most games along with South Georgia at 10 for the league. So obviously there's some space for Union, for Omaha, and essentially Forward to catch them and jump them over the next couple of weeks.
If Omaha and Madison win tomorrow, they're the actual top of the table team.
Yeah.
But
if Omaha wins, then I think they actually would jump ahead of Greenville because I think if Omaha were to win, Madison would be 1 win behind. Technically, if we're going off of actual time, technically.
Well, because remember, it's wins then goal differential, so it'd be tied on wins, and we have a better goal differential than Greenville, and so we would jump them on goal differential. I'm more just,
but so would Forward, because you guys would be tied on. Oh no,
because they have 10. So if Madison wins, they'd be over 7.
Right. But they would be one win short just because Greenville's played more games.
Oh,
Either
yeah.
way. Either
Regardless.
way.
Regardless. Yeah. League
Greenville-
One and not having standard tiebreakers is real fun and keeps us in business because people don't remember.
Good on Greenville. There are questions on how they would do without John Harkes, and they seem to have it figured out.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think if you're a Greenville fan, if you told people halfway through the season you were going to be in first place on the table, they'd be like, "Yeah, we'll take that." I think before prognostication wise, people had them like between like 6th and 9th, or 6th and 10th, or 7th and 10th. So it's like this is pretty good. You kept a lot of the same guys as Harkes had. You brought in some new guys. Like I think overall, like if you're a Greenville fan, you have nothing to complain about, and you're probably pretty happy with this.
My only thing with Greenville is they haven't really faced good teams, and the times that they do, they've lost. Charlotte was the one exception today, but they played Madison twice, a 0-0 draw, and lost 3-2. They played Charlotte twice, lost the first time, won tonight. And that's kind of it. Like, they haven't played Knoxville, who's doing pretty well. They haven't played Omaha yet. They haven't played. I'm curious to see how they do against good teams, more or less, and not, playing Tormenta and Richmond and Lexington and a Spokane team that was playing their first time. Like, I'm curious what happens
And
when
Chattanooga.
That was just the weirdest game in the world because they had 3 penalties.
Right. Like I don't think you can really take much from that, but it's just like a funny footnote on this narrative.
That was everything that could go wrong went wrong kind of game. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how they'll do against good/better teams than what they've mainly played.
Oh, and they're top of the table for Jaeger Cup.
They are.
For their,
we might as well dive into Jaeger Cup because the rules still elude me with this penalty kick at the end.
It's hockey.
I guess.
Well,
yeah,
that's not true because in hockey, if you win an extra time or shootout, you get the full points, and the other team gets
one
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I get it. It's been fun. It's produced some fun games. It's incredibly stupid, but it's been fun and I've enjoyed it. Got to go tarps off more times than I'd like to admit because Omaha didn't want to play their best roster, so we aren't doing so hot. But now we're in the wild card spot. But yeah, I mean, it's at least from the Omaha perspective, it's been fun, even though it hasn't been our best tournament, and we definitely aren't playing as good in that as we are in the actual league. But what's kind of your guys' perspective on how it's gone from your ends? I guess
Madison
was top, so.
Well, I was going to say, Madison started in the worst possible way because they played Lexington, a team that was reeling. Lexington were down to 9 men, and Fort Madison still couldn't score, and then Lexington scored like the 90-something minute. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Since then, Fort Madison has not lost, and actually I think they went and won 6 games in a row or something like that. So things have gotten better. The weird thing with Fort Madison in this competition is they've been defensively, like, they have not allowed a goal. They didn't allow a goal against Chattanooga, didn't allow a goal against Knoxville, only allowed one against Charlotte. So defensively, they've been really, really good. I'm curious how that'll go because, I mean, they get Knoxville again, not this weekend, but the following weekend. And then they get Lexington and Chattanooga, and then they'll get Omaha. That's the last game. So I'm curious how Madison will approach it, and depending on how Lexington does, maybe they just don't need to go full strength for it. I think it's stupid that regardless of where you're placed on the table, if you score the most goals, you move on, which does not make sense to me. I would be fine if it was like all the second place teams and the one that scored the most goals would move on. But otherwise, I mean, I don't think, maybe it's just because all the Fort Madison matches have not been high scoring, but I feel like they wanted more goals, and some matches have provided that. NOCO has said, oh, you want goals? Bet, we'll do that.
But they said it only in this tournament, apparently.
Only in this tournament. You know what? We'll score 2 against Omaha. We'll score 5 against Knoxville. We'll score 2 against Charlotte. We'll score 4 against... You know what? We will go and score.
Goals. They've scored 13 goals in 4 games for the Jägermeister Cup. What?
I'm no Jurgen Klopp, but seeing where they are in the Jaeger Cup and seeing where they are in the regular season, it's almost like, maybe we should play like we play in the Jaeger Cup, because clearly that works. Just saying, fuck it, let's score. Who cares about defense? Clearly that's a winning strategy for them.
They said different rules.
Just do it. Just go for it.
Just fucking
say
go.
Fuck
just
it.
go.
Everybody's a forward. Like, go.
0-0-11 starting lineup. I mean, hey, it's fucking working. Like that's the type of work rate that I've never seen produced.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, like how the hell?
Then you have.
Is that why they're so tired for like regular
guess.
season games?
That would make sense.
Oh, but then it's like crazy because you have the Omaha Chattanooga game where they scored 5 freaking goals. Or is that? I think that was a regular season match. Don't listen to me. It's hard. That's the worst part about it. Yeah. That's a regular season match.
Lexington and Chattanooga had a 7-goal match. Lexington won 4-3.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely like my biggest complaint. Is I wish they would just said, we're going to do this over 2 months or something in the middle or something. Cause it's like, I'm going to be completely honest, especially with Omaha having all these weird midweek games and having these long breaks between. Sometimes it's like, I don't even know what competition we're playing until I get to the stadium. It's like, oh, it's the Jaeger Cup today. It's like, oh shit. Yeah. Jaeger Cup. Let's go.
Oh no, I had people at the Fort Madison match that wondered, was this a Jägermeister Cup match? I was like, no, this is just a regular league match.
On the plus side, it's all like the same weekend, but then Omaha goes and fucks it up and plays on a Wednesday. But at least like it's all like the same like window.
That's true. It is nice knowing like, okay, this weekend is Jaeger action. This week is league action. And especially when like the Open Cup was happening for some of the teams. So it's like, I don't even know what competition you're in. Good luck.
Well, so funny story. When the schedule came out, a lot of us Omaha fans just assumed everybody was playing their Jaeger Cup matches on weekdays. I'm like, oh, well, I guess it's something to fill out the weekdays because people have trouble drawing. Nope, just Omaha playing on weekdays. Everyone else doing the weekend thing.
Yep.
Which it's like, okay, here we. Which I don't know. My gripe as a parent who takes his kids to games now, I wish it was the regular season games on weeknights because then it's guaranteed we're in and out in 2 hours instead of this like. Man, the kid's tired, and it's like, honey, PKs. And she's like, baby's tired. It's like I'm gonna ride home.
Car.
And I was gonna say, ironically, the one Madison weekday game is against Omaha in this cup. But that one's at home. That one's in Madison, so it's like, what the fuck?
Madison did that on purpose because they're afraid of Omaha fans coming up.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, it's just I feel like I don't know. It's the funny thing about that one though is like I know I'm joking when I say that because that's not actually how it works, but I think people say that and aren't joking, and then it's like I don't know. It's a joke about how we didn't play Madison at home on a weekday, or like we haven't played Madison at home on a weekend until like this year since like 2020.
Well, no,
it doesn't count.
I think last year the season opener. No, the season opener last year it was on a Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, then we played Madison came to Omaha on a weekend in 21 because I was at a wedding. But that might have been on Friday. I think it was on a Friday night.
I don't know. Because there was also that one Saturday that was supposed to happen, then it stormed out. But like,
yeah,
I would think both Omaha and Madison would want a weekend, like a Saturday night, because that would then mean, oh, you could actually have fans travel, which would mean more money for them.
I personally like them to continue to play on weekdays, so then people can complain and say that it's a grand conspiracy against their team by the other team by only scheduling them on weekdays because their traveling fan base is too strong. That's funnier for me personally. But yeah, it would be nice.
And like I'm just like whatever. If I make the matches, I make the matches. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make it tomorrow because this weather is annoying. So
well, right. That's like before the show started, I was joking with Eb that I haven't made like a Madison match in a long time because I'm like having a kid or like out of town or like Creighton's in the Elite Eight or something. So of course, like the one time we play Madison at home this year, I'm on like paternity lockdown mode. So it's like, oh, I'm going to that. There's a shout out to Greg. There's a Madison fan on the Discord server named Greg, who's a real friendly guy. He was asking, "Oh, are you going? You ready for the Madison game?" And all. It's like, dude, I'm not. I can't meet you for a beer. I can't like meet you out. Like, if my wife hasn't given birth, you can like sit on my patio and have a beer, and I'll have a water just in case like shit hits the fan. But that's about the extent of my going out at that point.
That's where I was in 2021. I was like, oh yeah, Omaha's in town. I was like, I don't know, because this is right around the due date, and I think Desmond was born like 10 days, like maybe like 5 days before. I was like, I'm not going to this match. I'm just gonna hold this newborn, and I don't have any sleep. So even if I wasn't drinking, I still am not in any shape to drive.
I guess there is a scenario where I could drink, and that would be if she has it on like the 2nd, and he's willing to drive out to the hospital, because there's the best wings in Omaha at Oscars, right across from the hospital. And if my in-laws, if it's like last time and they think that they can just sit in our room for 8 hours after the kid's born, like I will not be sitting in the room for 8 hours. So it's like, you can meet me at Oscars and we can have a couple of beers, because I'm not doing that again. That's too much for me. But yeah, no, it is. Hopefully there's more regularity with that. And I just think, especially with Omaha not having their own dedicated stadium, it makes for some weird scheduling stuff. And yeah, but we'll see. Again, it's a shame that there's not more Midwest teams, so that, you know, we can complain about not getting to go see Wichita play or Rochester or whoever else.
You've already named the most obscure Midwest places you could.
That's not even that obscure.
Well, now I just asked the people for the most obscure Midwest city.
It's not like we said like Prairie du Chien or something.
Well, okay, no one wants to fucking go there.
Duluth.
Am I supposed to know where that is? Like,
it's on the border between.
It's like
Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Yeah, Iowa. It's like bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah.
Isn't that all of the Midwest?
No.
Oh, snippy.
I cannot. I'm not gonna let you disrespect parts of the Midwest.
Parts. Okay.
I have to specify. There are definitely parts of the Midwest where it's like, yeah, fuck that.
There's a lot of cool places with a lot of nothing in between.
Yeah.
Sure. We have done a lot of reminiscing.
Defender.
Okay, I will give Sioux Falls.
You've been to Madison. You had a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, Madison, I will give you. Sioux Falls, I will give you.
Chicago.
They're central. You just said you didn't want a central time zone team.
Chicago is Midwest.
Oh, but they're central time. And if that's the case, then you have to count the Texas team. Boom. Yes.
Are we gonna count Corpus Christi then too? Texas.
Why not? Take what you can get.
Texas is Texas.
Texas is its own league.
So
Texas is not. Texas is Texas. Yeah.
To quote Beyonce, who was famously talking about Omaha, Nebraska in her hit song, "This ain't Texas." This ain't Texas. Texas is its own thing.
Texas is its own league. All right. Let's talk about the games coming up. So, if you were listening to us talk nonsense while also watching Greenville Charlotte, you know that game ended 2-0. The CBS Golazo game of the week, I guess that's what we're calling it, because they only host 2 of them. Madison is hosting Omaha this Thursday on the Golazo
network.
Channel. Sure.
Whatever.
Channel. We'll call it channel.
Yeah. Golazo thing.
Is it free on Paramount Plus?
You
should be.
Yeah, you have to have the app, but you don't have to pay for the app.
There you go. Good luck finding it.
Sometimes there is a channel dedicated to it on DirecTV. If you have DirecTV, sometimes they have a dedicated channel. If
you're going to a bar to watch this that doesn't normally have soccer, please be patient with the wait staff as they try to put it on for you. I just know tomorrow, whoever the poor soul that's the first to the watch party, they're just going to get handed the remote and be like, you figure this out.
Yes,
this is your
honestly,
problem.
That's probably what the wait staff should just do. They're like, here, you do it. If you have questions on how to function this TV, we'll help, but you find it.
That's especially because
your problem.
On a Thursday night where we go, it's not like the normal bartender that's there for soccer who. And even then, Galazzo's a weird thing. It's not like it's normally on Galazzo. Like if it's on ESPN Plus, like, oh yeah,
right.
there you go, have fun. But this one's like definitely a weird one.
Imagine having to download Paramount Plus onto their Roku, but you don't know who a Roku account is linked to. So then you have to call.
Password.
You got to call the manager from 3 years ago to ask them what's the Roku password.
I need to make an account. Should I just like put bar name 123 exclamation point? What's your email?
Grab a Chromecast and bring that. And just call it good.
Bring your own equipment. Bring your own laptop.
Bring your Chromecast.
Yep.
And just do that. Just bring your own Chromecast.
Honestly, the easier you make it for the bar staff, the more willing they will be to put the game on.
Yeah.
So,
well, luckily, if they chose Champions League, they should be good.
True.
Because at least have the app.
Yes.
And pay for it. So like there should be zero hurdles.
So this Saturday, Knoxville hosts Greenville. And these are not Jägermeister. These are league games, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, these are all league.
So Knoxville hosts Greenville, Richmond hosts Noco, and Red Wolves host Tormenta. And then on Sunday, Spokane hosts Lexington. And now it is time for our vibes and chaos games of the week. Chip, you go first.
So vibes, I've got RVA Noco. Noco, like we've talked about, has obviously scored a lot of goals recently, just not in league play. Richmond, Terzagi's back. Let's see, does he still have the magic? Can he still do what he does? It could be a opportunity to have a real fun, high-scoring game. And so I think despite where they are at the table right now, that could be really fun to watch, which of course means it's going to be a 0-0 draw now that I said that. So,
Kyle, your vibes.
Honestly, Knoxville Greenville is the epitome of if you put it on, you can literally do something else while you can have that be background noise, and maybe something will happen. But if you want one team is going to try and score goals and the other team is just going to punch you and just not actually commit to scoring, this is your match because Knoxville is not going to try and score. They're going to just decide we're just going to kick you and throw you to the ground, and we're not actually interested in scoring. We just don't want you to score. It's very petty.
Oh, so it's a petty game. A petty vibes game is going to be
Knoxville
absolute.
I feel like Knoxville's just the pettiest team in terms of they don't actually want to score. They just don't want you to score.
That's going to be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, all signs point to it because in the Jägermeister Cup, they've scored somehow four goals, which is impressive for them. In the league, I think they've only scored like 5. Oh no, they've scored 10. But it feels like they've had to really try for those 10.
It's scored 10, but it feels like 5. Got it.
Yeah.
And for me, my vibes is Spokane versus Sporting. This was my contender for chaos. But I feel like neither team is like actively going to do anything. So it's just going to be a smooth 0-0 draw with like maybe a yellow card and like that's it. So it'll be very chill. I'm going to turn that game on and then do something else. Give it the numbers it deserves. I'm definitely going to turn on that Madison Omaha on Thursday. But that game is going to be very boring.
Yeah. Fair.
And now for chaos. Chip, you're up.
Omaha, Madison. I don't know. It doesn't matter how the teams are playing. I feel like every game they play is like a 0-0 win or a 1. I know they're not all 0-0 draws or 1-0 wins, but they just feel like every single game they play is a rock fight. So it doesn't matter that Omaha is high flying scoring with this beautiful offense and Madison's like, finally figured out how to score with his great ball mood, everything else. It's going to be a fucking rock fight. And it's, especially with how they've been calling the games this year, there's going to be cards left and right, like probably a fight or two. Maybe we get another fight in the tunnel. Like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, especially now that like Madison's actually good. Which I'm going against what I'm saying, but maybe that makes it less chippy because it's like, well, we actually have something to play for, but they're both good. Like these games always are intense versus Madison and Omaha, and they actually are playing for something now. So it's like, I don't know. It's going to be, I feel like it's going to be ugly, which again, reverse curse, it's going to be 5-4 or something. And that's just how it goes.
Kyle.
I went Chattanooga Tormenta because nothing defines chaos as these two teams historically. I don't know what to expect out of this match. Could be a 0-0. Could be 3 red cards. Could be 4-3. I don't know. Neither team has it. Tormenta has shown I don't know what to expect out of them. And Chattanooga has shown that they are scrappy. They can score goals. They also can't defend. Again.
Again.
They've allowed 18 goals. They've allowed 18 goals in the league. Only Fuego has more with 19. But Chattanooga scored 12 goals.
I guess that's truly the difference right there, though. So that makes sense. Also, if I had known we were including Madison, Omaha, that would have been my vibes. But oh well, it's still going to be a great showcase of the league. But for my chaos, I put Kickers NoCo because of what you meant, because of your reasoning for why they're your vibes. These are 2 in the mud teams who desperately need results. And it's just they're just gonna fucking go. I hope they just fucking go. And it is a bloodbath. There's 2 red cards, a fight. Like 4-4. 4-4.
I have a question.
And a keeper is sent off. Thank you.
If Chattanooga loses, is Chattanooga on panic button watch? We've already hit it for Fuego. We've already hit it for Lexington. We were close with NoCo, but they haven't played enough games yet. Are we putting Chattanooga on watch for panic button? Or are we putting Richmond on watch?
No, they're not. I can't put Richmond on watch because they've already said that they're giving him the year, good or bad. So like he's off the table. Like he's getting a check.
Panic button doesn't necessarily mean firing the coach. Panic button just means, oh shit, are we in trouble?
They were hitting that game too. So I guess Chattanooga, we should have already been hitting it. But I can understand why we didn't. But if they don't do something,
because they won 3-1 against Greenville, we're like, okay, maybe not yet. Maybe not yet.
If they don't do something this game, there's got to be some type of flag, button, whistle. I don't know. Anything. But yeah. Definitely. You're definitely hitting something, whether it's the coach in the face or
a fan, maybe.
A fan. Fighting fans in the stands. Let's get real proper football antics in here.
Let's go Detroit. Let's go full Detroit Pistons on it.
Let's go.
If there was a team that would do it, it would be them.
Oh, that's hilarious. I think we got some solid choices in here. And we kept it at semi close to an hour. I'm proud of us.
We almost made it right in under an hour. Almost.
Yeah.
So we were never going to. For the first show in like months, we were not going to get under an hour. I'm
surprised we're not hitting. I'm surprised we're not creeping towards that like 2 hour
hour and a half.
Yeah, we did good.
I saw the vision today though when we're like going through. I was like, oh man, we're like.
I was on top of it.
I was like, let's go.
I was off of work. I threw that together. I was like, I am in a zone. I was not working. People were doing carpet upstairs, so I couldn't even like watch TV. I was just sitting there. I was like, let's do this.
God, you did it. Like this was solid. I appreciate it. Where are you both watching this game tomorrow for Union Omaha versus Madison?
I'm either going to the match with both the boys, or I will be at my place. Just depends on weather. And if I really want to try and take 2 boys to a Fort Madison game by myself. I mean, they'll be fun. They know people.
They'll be all right. Takes a village,
They know where the beer cart is. They're fine.
They accidentally drink a beer. It's Wisconsin. Their dad's with them. Who cares?
I have no worries about Sterling. I don't know what Desmond will get himself into. He might run off and do.
Sometimes the second born is a little bit more spontaneous. Okay, just
Yeah.
let it
He could
happen.
be by the corner flag in like a blink of an eye. The possibilities are endless with Desmond.
Look,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't know. Maybe they needed another ball boy. Just
Yeah.
throwing that out there.
Yeah. Maybe
Just
he
let
ends
it
up in the
happen.
suite. Chuck and Kristen ended up in a suite randomly. They're like, it's hot outside. You want to sit inside the suite? And Kristen's like, yes.
I don't know if they're gonna have the petting zoo. If they have the petting zoo, then I'm set. Then I'll entertain
perfect.
the whole match.
There we
Yeah.
go.
I'll be watching with the Sporters, St. Andrew's Pub, 7:00. You know where to find me. Wife had book club tonight, so I get a guilt-free night out of settling her, putting Chuck to bed. So it's like, oh boy, let's go. But should be fun. Hopefully have a good crowd. We're doing a little Euro pool down at the pub, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of shit talk. And if you could cheer on Georgia to get absolutely walloped so I get my $20 back, I'd really appreciate that, because of course I drew Georgia, not a team that could actually win.
Ah,
Look,
Georgia.
all I'm
That
saying
Georgia
is,
Turkey game though, that made me nervous. I was like, they're doing pretty good.
I put money on Croatia winning the Euros, and it is not looking good.
Why? Why did you do there?
Because the odds were like +3. Like if I put $10 on, I would have gotten like $300 something.
Yeah,
Dude,
you can't do
They're
the
like
good odds.
65.
Huh?
Only Modric.
They are like
I-
65.
You know what?
The average
Last time I
age.
thought Croatia was cooked, they went to the semifinal of the Qatar World Cup. So I was like, you know what? Maybe all they need is a couple dumb penalties to go their way.
Yeah,
The-
well, especially
And again, for $10, I'm willing to do that for $10.
yeah. You just got to play the odds,
That's
right?
that's why I put $5 on Ecuador to win Copa.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's $5.
Look,
$5.
if in a 2-leg, if you put in 15 for all that, you can walk away with almost $1,000. It is that ridiculous of the odds. Okay,
Yeah, you just might as well.
what else
Yeah,
am I gonna
you
do with that $15?
Yeah, can't even buy a McDonald's for that anymore.
Right.
But no, it
That's
should be fun. Looking forward to it. And yeah, it's going to be another great week of USL1 soccer.
We will be consistent. I promise. We're gonna be back more consistently
Yes, we're here.
because
I appreciate
we
everyone.
have to be.
Right. I appreciate everybody for watching, tuning in, joking along with us on Twitter. We love you guys. We will be back very, very soon. Enjoy the match on CBS Golazo tomorrow. Support your local club. Support your local beat writers. They're doing this from the good of their heart because Lord knows where's the money. And is there anything else from you guys? No?
Nope.
Well, then from me, Chip, and Kyle, peace.